Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. So we had a pretty fabulous Monday today. Miners were up nicely today, double digits for the most part. Bitcoin was up also pretty nice uply today, which was great to see. And then we had obviously President Trump come out with an executive order for an AI initiative over the next, basically, I think it's the next 10 years to make America the greatest AI superpower that there might be, which is great because that's going to obviously translate over into the miners that we do have stocks in. So that's going to be possibly good for us. Kind of light on details as far as what they want to do as far as megawatts, things like that, but we'll take a look at it quickly here. We're not going to get too deep into the woods here. I didn't have much time to prepare for tonight's show because I got home late. So I got basically the gist of it, of what's going on there. We do have some other good news stories as well, and that's basically it here. We're waiting on Cleanspark's results for tomorrow for their year-end results. That's going to be happening after hours for them. We'll cover that tomorrow, obviously. We'll do all that stuff here. All right, let's get into it here, but we got to go through this always. So you guys know, not financial advice, for only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously here. And let's get into what happened today with markets, Bitcoin, and everything else. So if we look at what happened today with Bitcoin, Bitcoin had a pretty good day overall. We kind of bounced back here over the last 2 days at least. We got to a close of 88,266. We were up 1.68% there. Markets were also in the green today. Dow Jones was up. NASDAQ was up 2.69%. A lot of that was, I think, triggered by Google being up quite nicely there. S&P was up also 1.55%. Russell was up 1.83%. Bitcoin's kind of down right now a little bit in the new day for Tuesday here, but not too badly. So that's looking not too bad there. Ethereum also had a pretty good day as well today. It was up, actually did better than Bitcoin did. It was up 5.41% there. It closed at $2,952. And then the miners. Oh my gosh, the miners had a nice little rally run here. They were beaten down over the last 4 weeks or so. As you guys know, they're down like 30, 40, 50%. I think some might be even like 60%. So a nice little rally here was due in this space here. So today was a great day. Right, if you bought in last week towards the bottoms, you're doing pretty good here. Bitfarms was up today 14.81%. BitDeer was up 11.95%. Kango was up also quite nicely here, 8.53%. Cypher was up 18.09%, if this thing ever loads. But it's taking sweet time there. So Cypher's back up to its battling with the 50 SMA right now as it is. But that one was up nicely today. Cleanspark also up almost 18%, 17.99%. That one is above the 200 SMA, which is good. Because that thing, obviously, you saw it came back all the way down from where it was in September. Had a huge run up and then a huge crash here as well. This thing's down, what, 50% plus to the bottom here at 8 something, which I bought in on Friday, which was kind of great. Maybe that is the bottom for these guys here. We'll see. CORZ was up a little bit as well, 6.92% there. Hive was up 11.07%. That one's doing good. Also, Hot 8 was up 14.33%. IREN was up also 14.74%. Let's see if this one loads. Actually, it did load. Okay. Yeah, so that one's kind of still between the 50 and the 100 SMA. Mara was up also nicely, 11.32%. This thing obviously was way down to where it was back in April, right? Remember the tariffs from Trump there? That's where that one kind of came back all the way down. Definitely got decimated here. Going down next was Riot. Riot was up 9.21%, and Wolf was up 11.87%. So those all looked great there. The Bitcoin holding companies, treasury holding companies, MicroStrategy was up 5%, Galaxy was up 6%, Block was down just a little bit, 0.15 there, Coin was up 6.47%, MetaPlanet was up 1.4%, Exodus was up 3.62%, Nexon was down actually 2.09%, Semler was up 9.72%, Phoenix was down 2.5%, GameStop was up 1.74%, small miners did really good also today. Annie was up 2.8%, Argo was up 12.5%, DigiPower was up 25.96% there. This thing is definitely doing good. DMG was up 8.25%, Mawson was up 14.61% also, and then Canon was up 5.5%, and then the Bitcoin miners ETFs had a great day. BitQ was up 9.49%, BKCH 11.53%, DAP was up 9.52%, and WGMI was up 13.5%, which that's a nice little bounce there. It's still bouncing off the 100 SMA, it looks like. We fell below, but we definitely bounced back above it, so that's nice to see that. And then the Ethereum holding companies here, BMNR was up nicely, 19.62%. BitDigital was up even 9.57%. BTCS was up 13.67%. Game was up 4.5%, and SBET was up 5.8%. Other companies that we track here, American Bitcoin was actually surprisingly down for the day, 0.9%. One of the only miners that is down actually. So that's kind of strange. Well, I wouldn't say strange, but it's definitely down from where it was before. Let's see what else we got. Wi-Fi, right, 7.12% in the upside. Open was up nicely, 13.93%. Oracle was up also 0.76. Nebius was up 10.38. Soluna was up 10.6 there. We had Backed also being up 11.67. Who else do we have here? Meta was up 3.16. Google was up huge today, 6.28%. Amazon was up 2.53. Microsoft was up 0.4. And NVIDIA was up 2.05% there as well. So all of these things are pumping today, which was definitely a nice day. We needed this in a long time. And in order for us to get back to where we were just a couple of weeks ago, we're going to need like another 5, well, I'd say probably 8 to 10 days like this, where we're up double digits on these guys to get back to where we were. Will it happen that fast? I doubt it. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but who knows? We might be getting surprised here by it, how things go, especially with the executive order here for AI and everything else. Okay, so there's that. As far as the miners here after hours right now, if we look at Bitdeer is actually down 1.39%. Bitfarms is up 1%. Kango is down 2.86%. Cypher is up 2.93%. Cleanspark here is up 1.05%. Core is up 0.57%. Hive Digital is up 0.62%. Hut 8 is actually down 1.43%. IREN is up 1.4% now. Mara is down 0.45%. Riot is down 0.22%. And TerraWolf is up 1.66%, it looks like right now. So we'll see. Maybe tomorrow we'll have another nice day with the miners here after the news that came out here. Looking at where we are with Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin is down 20% for the month of November. We have basically this rest of this week, more or less, to end out the month here for November. Can Bitcoin rally 20% in those days? I find it hard to believe that it would do that. We might get surprised, but if we're down at least less than 10%, I'd be happy with that. Currently where we are with Bitcoin and everything else. But yeah, long term, I think we're still in pretty good shape here. But we'll see if this was the bottom last week on Friday, not only for the miners, but also for Bitcoin. And we'll see that in the coming weeks and months ahead. That was the case here. I think it is, but time will tell. Okay, Bitcoin ETF inflows here. We can see that today we had only 9.7 million of inflows without BlackRock reporting IBIT. Right, that one's still missing here, so we'll see where that comes in at. Friday we had inflows, positive inflows, so that was good there. The market stats here on Fed rate cuts, we're at 80.9% probability of getting a 25 basis point rate cut here happening in December. That's actually pretty good. That's going to bode well for us going forward. So it seems like things are moving in the right direction for us potentially. Remember last week we were actually like at 30%, so things have definitely changed here in the last couple of days rather quickly in this space. All right, now the news that we do have obviously from the White House, President Trump here signed an executive order. Ernest lays it out pretty good here. This is just a quick blurb on it, right? So he's talking about possibly Cypher, Cleanspark, as well IREN and Wolf benefiting from this. Genesis mission, which is what they're calling it, executive order breakdown. The U.S. just put a stamp on sovereign compute, tripling national HPC capacity by 2030. So that's actually within 5 years there. Fast track permits for high density campuses plus immersion cooling. So that's great. Tax credits for greater than 25 megawatt AI HPC build outs, which a lot of these miners that we talk about have that already. I mean, some of these guys have gigawatts. And then federal GPU procurement priority to the U.S. operators. Long-term government contracts for AI and scientific compute. And HPC officially classified as critical infrastructure. That is great news there. All right, so if you're positioned in the compute, power, energy, and triangle, this is the moment we've been waiting for, I guess. And yeah, I agree with Ernest there. This is definitely going to be a nice wind to move us forward here with, obviously, the companies that we do have shares in, right? Whatever those might be, whatever you're in. Ones that have AI, obviously, ambitions, already have contracts in place. That's going to bode well for them going forward here. So I think things are going to be much better for us going forward. Yeah, we took a big dump here in the last 4 weeks or so on these guys because of FUD, because of Michael Burry shorting, NVIDIA shorting Palantir, right? And saying that the miners should not be, or not even just the miners, just the AI space itself should not be depreciating the machines longer than like 3 years or something like that, which is BS. So that's all maybe playing out right now, where that FUD is ending. All of the big players that wanted to get in on these names are probably getting into them right now if they weren't already getting into them the last couple of weeks here as they were coming down. So I think we're set to rally potentially higher from where we are right now. But again, time will tell if that's the case. Okay, next year, this is kind of interesting as well. Meta Platforms is reportedly considering using Google's TPUs in their data centers, the information. So that would be actually pretty interesting here, right? NVIDIA is definitely the power, is the king right now in this space when it comes to GPUs and things like that. But GPUs, well, they're using, I wouldn't really call them, I mean, are they really GPUs anymore? I mean, they're just so specific to AI. I don't know if you can fairly call them GPUs anymore for NVIDIA, the AI chips that they're building there. But Google's tensor processing units, they've also been really good here. They're using those pretty much, I wouldn't say 100%, but I know it's a high percentage mark that they're using in-house for that. They've designed their own chips to basically work on AI, inference, all those other things as well. So it's kind of interesting. The thing that I like about it is obviously if you have competition leads to better products, lower cost products, which then obviously serves all humanity in the long run, especially when it comes to AI here, I think. So this is good news there. If they're going to be doing it, if maybe we'll see some other ones doing it as well. Next here, we have Bloomberg announced live on TV that Abu Dhabi bought 520 million worth of Bitcoin. It's happening, right? So that's great news that sovereign funds, countries are still buying Bitcoin here, especially on the dip that we've had here, which is great. And then that's obviously going to take some of those Bitcoin that the whales had for a long time. It's being transferred over into sovereign funds, countries, companies, things like that. They're going to be holding out for probably the next, 10 years or so. So that's great news for Bitcoin there. And this from the Bitcoin mining stock guy here, bullish. Breaking Amazon is investing up to $50 billion to expand AI and supercomputing infrastructure for the U.S. government agencies. Right, Amazon Web Services will build and deploy the first ever AI high-performance computing HPC purpose-built infrastructure for the U.S. New investments will add nearly 1.3 gigawatts of compute capacity across AWS Top Secret, AWS Secret, and AWS Government Cloud U.S. regions across all classified levels, and expands access to AWS trusted infrastructure and comprehensive AI services to help government agencies advance America's AI leadership. So this might be kind of part of that executive order that Trump put out today. $50 billion just for data centers to make sure the U.S. government has access to AI. I'd imagine sovereign across the world will also want compute capacity to make sure that they are at the cutting edge of AI services within their respective governments. Hard to think this build-out slows down. Yeah, AI bubble is nowhere near, right? So if you think about other countries that are going to be making sure that they have their own AI compute, that is only going to benefit NVIDIA in the long run, I believe. And others as well. I think if Google starts selling their TPUs or something like that, AMD as well, that's going to benefit those tremendously here because, right, those countries are probably not going to want to have their data centers in other countries, like the United States or something like that. Maybe not. We don't know. But overall, that's going to be definitely bullish for NVIDIA going forward here. They're going to be the ones benefiting from it, especially the countries that are, friends with the United States, right? If you're in good standing with the United States, you'll probably get those GPUs. If you're not, obviously you're not going to be getting those. But yeah, it is definitely a race here for all of these countries to have some sort of AI in their own countries for sovereign security. So full steam ahead, I believe. Next 5-10 years are going to be definitely interesting in the space going forward. There's going to be a lot of advances happening here. It's going to be an interesting, it's a revolution happening right now in this space right now. I'm looking forward to it, to see how this all plays out. Hopefully it plays out to the benefit of humanity, right? We do not want to become basically the batteries like we saw in the Matrix movies. Remember, humans were 20 watts of electricity or something like that, 200 watts of electricity per day for those machines in that movie. We do not want to become that thing. We want to make sure that the AI is thinking of us first, right? How to help humanity out and all that to make us be happier, live longer, be more prosperous, all those things. If that gets done, it's going to be maybe we'll have a utopia in the coming years, right? Wishful thinking, but it would be nice, right? No more wars, no more people starving. Everybody has access to water, all the things that they need. That would be fantastic, right? And we could all maybe get along as a whole global civilization instead of, being defined by the borders that we have right now, right? That would be the greatest thing I think that could happen to human civilization going forward, because we all need to work together. We're all on this little planet, and whether it's further going on into the space, stars, things like that, we're all going to work together to do that. So I'd love to see that, because we need to do that, I think, right? For the human race to survive in the very, very long term. I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of years down the road, right? Possibly millions of years. But we'll see. That's kind of my wishful thinking there. We'll see if that's going to happen there. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys here. We're waiting on, like I said, for Cleanspark to report tomorrow. That's going to be happening after the close of the trading session there. We'll definitely take a listen to what they have to say in their conference call as well. I'm hoping that they provide some kind of guidance as far as where they are right now with their AI build-outs, site-wise, right? Where are they? Which sites could be a good fit for it? All that stuff. Definitely, I'm looking forward to all that here. All right, so let's get into Q&A here. We'll call it a day at that point, and we'll see where things go. All right, let's see here. This is from yesterday. You guys are probably seeing this. Sadie, thank you, Sebastian. You're very welcome, and that's from yesterday's thing. Okay, let's see what we got here. As always, questions, if you could preface those with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. I'll work my way down as always. Let's see here. Q14AA. Hey, Seb, funny when the market is green, no badges to be found. Keep up the good work. I'm buying on dips and waiting for bigger returns. Nice. Very nicely done. Yeah. I mean, that happens all the time, right? When market does great, everybody's happy. We barely have anybody here complaining about anything. So, but like I said, we need at least a couple more, probably like 5 to 8 more days like this in order for us to get back to where we were before. All right. Let's see. Anonymous FOMO show. Everyone check out Mawson after hours. Is it pumping? Big short squeeze after 20 to 1 share merge. Yeah, definitely got to hit on that. HD Tech says, evening Seb, here's hoping for some momentum. Me too. Definitely would need it. Franco says, phew, nice day today. Love it. Yeah, today was a great day, but we need more of those. And it says, check out Mawson short squeeze action. Too late to act on it now, but impressive. Let's take a look at it. Let's see where's Mawson at right now. I know that they were also in I think they've extended their delay or delisting possibly, but they got to get their stock above, what is it, $30 market cap and $1 stock price, I think it is. Let's see here. Where's MIGI on this one right now? Let me see. Mawson Infrastructure Group. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it is definitely pumping here. It is up 39% right now after hours. That's a huge spike from where it was today. I'm not sure what's happening there, but it's getting repriced on it. Mawson does have some sites still left. I mean, but they're being kind of priced like they're going out of business here. All right, what is their market cap right now? Let's see here. Statistics, I think it might be under that. No, where would I find that? Summary. That'd be under summary. Let's see, there it is. Market cap right now. Okay, market cap intraday. 5.8 million only. Yeah, so they definitely need some work done if they have to get above like 30 million in market cap. Yeah, that's okay. So that's interesting. But yeah, definitely a huge pump here after hours. 40% now. 40.78%. Wow. If anybody got in that one on the dip there, they're doing pretty good. All right, let's go back here. Okay, Sir Langton says this pump won't last. Take profits this time. I agree. Well, I don't agree with that won't last, but I definitely agree on taking profits, right? For everybody else, as you guys know, I'm a little bit longer term investor here. I may ride this down. I may ride this up. I may ride it down again and ride it back up here. As long as each time that I write it down, it's less than where I got in it, I'm okay with that. Sadie likes for Seb. Thank you so much for that. Mark Fun says, I should have bought more. Well, that's the thing in hindsight, right? You always go, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that, right? So it's tough to do that. I would say try to stop doing that as best you can. Buy when you can, buy into it, especially the ones that you have high conviction in, and then the rest of the time, do not look back, right? What was back then, happened back then, do not look back from it. Learn from it, but don't look back because you're going to be always what if, right? Okay, P-Invest. Trump's new update on AI. What does this mean for miners, Cleanspark especially? We don't know yet right now, right? The initiative there is obviously to build out a sovereign AI compute, get everybody working together, get the stuff moving as fast as possible, potentially. But we don't know what's going to mean for Cleanspark or IREN or Cypher or TeraWolf or anybody else, or Bitfarms in this space, right? But it definitely means that there's going to be a huge demand for government to get into the space as well, which is obviously going to take up megawatts from other companies that need it as well. So I think there's just going to be more demand than we think there's going to be, or there is already. Okay, talking about that. All right, Pete, will we tank heavy if no rate cuts? I think the rate cuts are kind of being priced in right now. I don't expect us to tank. I mean, we're seeing some buzz around possibly 50 basis points cuts. I don't know if we'll get that. I'll be happy with 25 basis points cuts there. All right. Let's see. Are you expecting Cleanspark to have blowout earnings? I am not. I'm expecting to have a positive EPS with the impact of the HODL position there, right? So the FSB impact will be positive to them, unless they, it's the end of the year. I don't know how. Right, end of the year for them, they might have bonuses, things like that that get thrown into it. But I would still expect a positive EPS, whether it might be a low one or a high one. That I don't know. All right. DGHI says, well, I see World War III as robotic mass destruction, LFG, BTC, Xmas Pop, 250, Dipmis early, Dipmis tis early. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping we don't get into World War III with robotics. That would not be good. Right? Maybe we shouldn't show them videos on how to use weapons. That might not be a good thing there. Right? So if they're training them on good things. Let's see, Steven. You think Mara will be a better buy now that they are entering HPC? They have large power grid to help power this environment. They do have a large power grid. They have, 100 some megawatts in a wind farm, right, that they own, that they're currently using for older generation miners to basically utilize them as long as they can, right? And with cheap electricity, they can do that. They also have quite a bit of power, but I think it's still 65%, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken. 65% of their infrastructure is owned, and the other 35% is still hosted. So that goes into it. So they do have some, I think, what are they at? Probably close to 700, 800 megawatts, if I'm not mistaken, there as well, that they own, I think, somewhere around there. That they could possibly transition into HPCI if they wanted to. But yeah, I mean, that stock has not done well. There might be reasons for it. Performance in the past hasn't been great. The management has been kind of rather coy. They've also given themselves huge stock-based compensation, bonuses, things like that, which obviously have irked a lot of people here. All right, so yeah, I'll leave it at that. Rob, my auto buy order for 300 shares of Bitfarms did not trigger today. I hope there is a slight pullback in the morning so it initiates. Okay, that'd be great. See, Kevin says maybe a big day for miners today. Today was a great day. Tomorrow, we'll see how tomorrow does. P-Invest, did you buy more? I did not buy today. I bought Friday, right? So I bought maybe right at the bottom there, close to the bottom. We'll see if that's actually going to be the case there. Kyle says, boom, money printing happening basically. Let's see, history unfolded for BMNR. What about BMNR? All right. Neil here, enjoy the final pump before the crash. So you think we're actually going to be crashing with all this demand for it? I'm not saying that you're not going to be wrong. Who knows, right? We don't know where the future is going to be at. All right. Gary, IRE up 29%, stressful weekend, but buying dip Thursday paid off. After 3 weeks of dips, wasn't sure if Thursday was the bottom, but got lucky. Yeah, same thing, right, with me. I did the same thing on Friday where I bought more Bitfarms than Cleanspark. Those have been beaten down more than IREN has. IREN's still holding really well, right, around $40. So and my cost average on that was really, really low. If it dipped further than that, I probably would have picked up IREN as well, but it's still doing really well. All right. Rob says, I was hoping Trump would tweet about JP Morgan and BTC MicroStrategy. Yeah. He might have, right? Because they got debanked by Chase and others as well. Neil says, still down 50% on some miners from the top. Yeah, you might be still down on that, but unless you bought late when they were pumping already, then you should be still in the green, depending when you bought them. If you bought into them earlier than the summer, probably, then you still should be in the green on these, I would think, right now. NGH here, will the run get back on track? Wanted to wait for payday to average in more. It might be. Time will tell, right? We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or later on this week. It's going to be a short weekend anyways for the miners here because of Thanksgiving, so we'll see how they do here. All right, Midwest Island, IREN's approval on the proposal, a good thing for shareholders? Approve on the proposal. I have to look at that. I don't know what, is that for more shares? What do they provide there? Hold on. Let me pull it up here really quick, see what's new on them. Let's see, sec.gov. Go there. Go to IREN, IREN. Pull that up. What do we have here? Proposal. Let's see. November 24th, current report. Okay, that's today, right? November 20th. Yep, that's today. All right. So I missed something here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's take a look at it here with you guys as well. All right, so here's what we got. It's a Form 8K. Let me see if I can zoom this in, make it a little bit easier for you guys to read as well, and myself. My eyes are getting old. All right, what do we got here? Material modification of rights of security holders as more fully described under 5.07. The shareholders of the company approved amendments to the company's constitution. Whoa, excuse me. One, to align the quorum requirements to conduct shareholder meetings with the listing rules of the NASDAQ stock market. That's fine. Provide for director elections at each annual general meeting. And add a forum selection provision. 4, update the advance notice provisions for universal proxies. And 5, to implement certain other miscellaneous changes upon such shareholders' approval at the, okay. Yeah, so I mean, this looks fine. Departure of directors of certain officers, election of directors, appointments. Okay, and submission of matters to vote for securities. Proposal 1, amendment to the Constitution aligned quorum requirements. So we had 245 million. That definitely passed there. Amendment to the Constitution to provide for direct elections at each annual general meeting. All right, that definitely passed with flying colors there. Amendment to the Constitution to add forum selection provision. That definitely passed. I mean, everything here passed. Yeah, so it looks all good there. Omnibus incentive plan. You have to look at what the omnibus incentive plan is like. But that definitely passed. Repurchase by the company of its ordinary shares pursuant to prepaid forward transactions. That got approved. Repurchase of the company of its ordinary shares pursuant to capped call transactions. That got approved. And then advisory vote on executive compensation. 215. So that definitely passed there. What else? Shareholders approved on a non-binding advisory basis every year at the, okay. Yeah, so stuff definitely passed here on it. We'll have to look eventually we'll have to take a look at see what the compensation is for the executives there and the omnibus incentive plan there as well. See what that is like. But yeah, I mean, this is all fine. Nothing out of the ordinary here right now, at least I don't see. All right, let's go back here. All right, NGH, what's up with the JP Morgan news? People are kind of PO'd on them. I've heard stories that 100,000 to like 300,000 of their customers have started to withdraw or close their accounts with them. And that's definitely not a great sign for them, but it's definitely not going to, I mean, it's going to put a dent in them a little bit, but it's not going to be the end of them, that's for sure. P-Invest here says, BMR earnings, fiscal year 2025 EPS 1339, net income 328 million, first dividend ever for a crypto firm, clean balance sheet, multiple ways to earn Ethereum without dilution, made in America validator network. Okay. Yeah, I love the fact that they're buying up Ethereum. But again, how much of a premium should they get on their MNAV there? That's the big question there for me. All right. DGF, tech semis, HPC AI, and ton of energy sector. Nuke will need to expand rapidly with subsidies. Will they offset tariffs enough, or we just going to build all locally to avoid it? Even as far as on equipment and things like that, yeah, I don't know about the tariffs on that. Will they go lower? If you want things to be built quickly, well, or at least less expensively, you probably want to have lower the tariffs there on certain things. But we'll see there. Okay, let's see. Poly market shows Fed rate cuts 25 basis points. Here we're seeing the same thing with the Fed tool there. Okay, PTC update. Ethereum recorded 1.3 billion in 24 hours stablecoin supply change. Okay, that's great. DGHI, CEP, and BMNR buying dip. Okay. See, Harvard bought the dip 3x supply at hodls right now. Okay. I've seen that also. MicroStrategy buying the dip, and what's up with JP Morgan liquidating issue as well as debanking pushback. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that yesterday. Smells like a GameStop roaring kitty energy. It's no, I don't think it's to that point yet. Yes, there are a bunch of people that are definitely upset with JP Morgan Chase, but I don't think it's the end of them anytime soon here. Let's see. DGF says, I'm still holding bags of every HPC miner as well as most of the big treasuries, but I still see Mawson and Cleanspark more oriented to mining BTC in limited supply item key, as BTC is the only other one. Right now, well, American Bitcoin, I mean, they're basically asset light. They don't have any infrastructure. So, yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? They could potentially, if they wanted to, get into AI, but they don't have any sites. Everything is hosted through Hut 8 there, and Hut 8 owns 67% or something like that of the company there, I believe. Yeah, but Cleanspark, right now, you still got Cypher mining, you still have IREN mining, you got Terra, I think TerraWolf might be still mining a little bit. And then you got Riot, Mar, obviously Cleanspark still mining, Bitfarms is still mining. Eventually, those guys will all transition over to either completely being out of Bitcoin mining, or they'll transition to a hybrid approach where they have, I don't know exactly where, right? Whether it's going to be 500 megawatts or something like that to 1 gigawatt of capacity for Bitcoin, and then the rest of it's going to be for HPCI. That's just my thoughts on it. All right, DGF, if they start stockpiling as nations get into the arena for security and more government-backed projects like the recent one, supply shock should make these corps oodles of dollars. Most of these guys are here in the United States, so it's going to be other companies that also operate in other countries. But they might be looking for, other countries might be looking for internal companies, right, that will power their HPCI side of things. So I don't know if it's going to be that big for them. The big winner on this might be NVIDIA and possibly Google with their TPUs. Amazon also does their own, basically, GPUs, TPUs things. And then who else? I think that might be it. AMD, right? Rob says JP Morgan was closing people whose accounts were invested in BTC. That is not it. Yeah. Right. Just because you don't agree with Bitcoin or whatever, for whatever reason, shouldn't be closing people's accounts. Let them invest what they want to invest in. Right. It's their money. What's the big deal? All right. P-Invest. Tumley and BMNR now hold 3% of the Ethereum supply with 3,629,701 Ethereum. The December upgrade for ETH will make it truly deflationary. Around 4% of supply could be burned annually. Okay, well, that would be good. All right. DGF, happy holidays. Take care. Thank you, you too. Don't eat too much turkey. Let's see. AFAVC. Do you have any thoughts about XRP? My thoughts on XRP have always kind of stayed the same. As like, I know that they were going after the SWIFT system. My thoughts were, okay, I mean, the SWIFT system and the banks that are in that system, they could do their own thing relatively easily. There's nothing proprietary or any patents that would prohibit them from, doing it themselves. So I was never a big fan of XRP. Yeah, it's had a nice run up here. Obviously, the losses have been extinguished and things like that. That has definitely helped out. But yeah, I mean, you're moving money from point A to point B. With open source and everything like that, banks can do it themselves. I'm not a big fan of it. All right, LF Trades. Where do you see Cypher at the end of the year? Probably higher from where they are right now, maybe closer to $20, maybe to $25 even at this point, depending on how they do. Do we get another announcement or a deal that would help out there? But that's kind of where I would see them, at least for the time being. On that one. All right, Midwest Island here. Is JP Morgan saying this just to get back at Trump for releasing the Epstein files since they were involved with Epstein? Yeah, I don't know. If you put your tinfoil hat on, you could possibly think that, right? But who knows? I mean, there's so many things going on in the background that we don't know about. And I don't want to know about. So I do not know. Rob, thank you so much for the thumbs up there. BP Invest. BMNR up 20% while Ethereum 6%. The MNAV is 1.06. MNAV undervalued. Again, right, what should they get as far as a premium on the MNAV? I think somewhere between 1.1 to 1.2. I think that would be fair if, the only reason I say this so if you think that Ethereum is going to go up like 100%, right, from where it's at right now, should they get for a short period of time, like a 2 MNAV, I would think that'd be fair, right? And then as Ethereum price goes up in value, that MNAV should fall down as well as that valuation increases there, right? So that's kind of my thinking about it. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on it. Okay, Carl, Bitcoin DeFi is a huge threat to banking system. This is why Diamond is fighting it. That might be it, right? We know that DeFi is definitely going to, well, if you don't need a bank to pay somebody or move funds and things like that, what are banks for other than loans potentially, right? But that's where they make most of the money anyways, it's in loans. But they use obviously our cash that's in the system there to do, what's it called? There's a term for it. You guys know what I mean, right? You deposit $1,000, they take basically 900 of that and loan it out, right? So yeah. Could operate MicroStrategy at decent DCA prices right now. Bro, is it? I think it's way down from where it was just a year ago. If you recall, last year was at $540 around this time frame. I mean, it's at what, $180 right now or something like that. Where are they at? MicroStrategy. I don't pay attention too much, but we definitely keep it. $179 for them right now. I mean, they've been definitely decimated here in the past year. But yeah, I think, what's their MNAV right now? I'd have to take a look at what the MNAV is. If it's below a 1, I would say, yeah, it's definitely undervalued. Even if it's below 1.2, I would say it's undervalued. So yeah, that's kind of where my thought process would be on that one. Talking about that, DGHI, either way, it should put those with growing hash rate as Bitcoin having demands more hash rate to facilitate these corps that grow should be doing very well with ability to cap BTC like OPAC for consumers. Okay, yeah. Rob says, crossing fingers, Hive and Bitfarms go 220 per share. Oh my gosh, if they go to that, that would be fantastic. Sadie, thank you so much. Fractional reserve, thank you. That's what I was thinking about. Fractional reserve. All right. UBEV, I can't pronounce that. Sorry. I'm just gonna UB. Does anyone know where to buy? Okay, that's a scam. Don't. Okay, block that person there. Let's see. Sell. Cleanspark price analysis per grok projected trading price combination history plus 20% median on similar beats. Valuation $19 to $21 base and catalysts end of year AI buzz. BTC 100,000. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think they should be somewhere between probably $25 and $35 right now as it is. So they are definitely, in my opinion, at least way undervalued, even currently. Okay, here, let's see. Continue on here. Immediate post earnings, November 26th, open 13 to 14, 15, 25% from November 20, assuming no major BTC dump. 1 week target, 16 to 18, rating to 12 to 13. TTM on momentum, and then end of December, 18 to 20 full digestion, 60 to 95% from current toward average price target. If guidance strong on 50 exahash rate, AI expansion, risk adjusted range, bull 60 cents per EPS plus revenue beat, $23 at retest October. Okay, yeah, I mean that would be great. P Invest, why are so many in X bullish on Cleanspark? Well, Cleanspark, so I mean, Cleanspark's a little bit different from like Cypher and IREN, right? The way that they differ is they have more sites, but they're smaller sites across multiple states. Whereas Cypher and IREN are pretty much concentrated in Texas there, but they have larger sites, right? 300 plus megawatt sites, even gigawatt sites and 2 gigawatt sites. So that's kind of the difference there. And Cleanspark is going into the AI space as well. They bought a site in Texas for that. So they're going in that direction overall. They've been late to the party, whereas IREN, Cypher have been kind of going in that direction over the last probably year and a half to 2 years, it seems like, right? So they've been a little late, and that's why people are kind of a little bit bullish on them. They have a huge HODL position as well, which if Bitcoin goes up in value, that will help them out. but they're also at 50 exahash right now. They should be generating good revenue from that, so they could help out to build out going forward as well. Okay, so that's kind of the reasons why. And they've been a great operator. They've, reached their targets pretty much always, and they've done great things here. They were late to Bitcoin mining, but they ended up being within the top 3 miners. All right. Question: last quarter, Cleanspark had good earnings, but the big but back then was they were still like a pure play pure play Bitcoin miner. Once they had the CEO leave there, right, Zach, and Matt took over, they've been definitely going into the AI space more. All right. Rob, Seb, did you watch that YouTube video by that guy? I forgot his name now, talking about Bitfarms on a piece of notepaper. I did not know. Carl says, mentioning J Diamond, autocorrect, got me. Yeah, J Diamond. Mr. X here, didn't go up because market was negative. Can we expect a better green market to earnings? Can send us to the moon. Can send us to the moon? I would hope so. I mean, we all want these things to go up, right? Whether it's going to be, here's the thing for me. For me, it doesn't matter whether it's going to be the next 10 days or 20 days, or if it's going to be the next, 9, 12 months. In the long run, as long as we get to where we want to get to, that's all that really matters. Time-wise, yeah, sooner will be better, but I got time. I'm not planning on dying anytime soon. Knock on wood. So I've got time. Family's taken care of as it is already, right? We live pretty well. We live within our means, and we're able to put money aside, invest, and also, do like the basement here in cash instead of taking out loans and things like that. So we're in a good spot. I know a lot of people aren't in that same spot here, but that is because of our hard work, our hustle, our ambitions. Sometimes you have to put out more work if you want to have nicer things. That's just the way it goes. All right, let's see. Gary, could you review the number of megawatts under energy contracts different miners have under contracts sometime later this week? Yeah, we could probably look at that. We know what they have already, and then we can take a look at what their pipeline is as well. I think I have that written down already, so that shouldn't be too bad. All right, P-Invest, what updates are you looking for from Cleanspark on AI? I want to know what is their path, right? They have like 33, 34 sites already as it is. Smaller sites, yes, right? Ranging somewhere between, what are they, like 10 megawatts to like 200 megawatts. So they do have those sites. I want to know on those sites, which sites can they actually use for AI potentially? Which ones have like interconnections potential, or fiber connections as well, right? Close by regional fiber connections. That would be great to know there. So it kind of gives us a picture of where they're going and what kind of conversations have they had so far with potential customers, right? Those things I would like to know. All right. Let's see. All right. MP Invest, do you think Cleanspark sells off after earnings? No, I think, all of these things come down here. I could be wrong on it, but I don't think they're going to go down in value unless they put out abysmal earnings or something like that, and then don't put out much as far as AI progress going forward. So if those two things happen, then I could see that falling down. But otherwise, I think they're gonna do fine here. Now, and we got, let's see, a couple more here coming. Okay, we got spam there. And we'll cover that one. We got one from Rob coming in here as well. All right, Sell says sell-off should be done. I'm hoping that's the case. Right, we'll find that out in a couple weeks here. Rob also said, how much strength do you think the executive order will have on the AI HPC space? Realistically, will it quadruple the stock prices for companies in that space? Depending on how much demand. So that's the only part that we don't know, right? What is that megawatts requirement going to be for them to build out the AI space? I would imagine it's going to be sizable. I'm guessing probably at least a gigawatt, if not more, that's going to be needed for that. That's on the very low end side of things, I think. If they're trying to do their own AI initiatives, and we need more details on that, but it's definitely a good thing for the AI space in general. Okay. And P-Invest, have you looked into ASST, Bitcoin Treasury? looked into it a little bit. I know Mike Alfred obviously loves them, or I wouldn't say loves them, but he definitely likes the management team there. He finds them to be possibly one of the best there, which is great. But I'm not into Bitcoin miner companies, or Bitcoin treasury companies, I should say. Like I've said many times before, I love the fact that they are buying up Bitcoin and Ethereum and all those. But if I wanted to buy Bitcoin, I would just buy Bitcoin. Yes, there's supposed to be like a proxy on Bitcoin, right? A levered proxy. So you're supposed to get a little bit better than you would with Bitcoin by itself. But we've seen what happened with MicroStrategy over the last year, right? $542 down to $180. It got decimated here in the last year, whereas some of these other players did better than that. So I don't know if they will rebound from that. I think there's more avenues to get Bitcoin exposure, ETFs, everything else. Eventually banks will have it at their disposal as well for you to buy in at that point. Other exchanges. So I don't know if there's, I don't know. I mean, I wish them to do very well because I want them to hold the Bitcoin for as long as they can. So I want that, but I would not, personally, I'm not buying. Okay, let's see. All right. P Invest also asked, the Bitcoin bottom? Possibly we won't know for a couple more weeks, right, until we are past this, but it looks like we may have bottomed out, being down, 36% from the top, which is what we've seen here twice already in the last year and a half. So maybe this is just a continuation of that trend there. Let's see. Hi, Seb. What did you think of Ben's tweet today? He was very bullish. I did not see that today. I must have missed it. What did he say there? We'll go on a couple more minutes here, and we'll see if we can get a tweet from him or what he stated. What else we got here? We got a couple more coming in here. Okay. Seb, his name is Steven Designer. Okay, that's the YouTuber there. Yep. Take a look at that guy for sure. Let me write this down because I'll forget. By memory, if I don't write it down, I will forget. I don't know if you guys have this issue also when you get older, that your memory, or just maybe I got too many things on my plate, too many things going on in my head. Let me write this down. Steven Designer. We'll take a look at this guy. Stefan, not Steven. Stefan. Ziner. Okay, we'll take a look at it. YouTube there. We'll take a look at him tomorrow, maybe. All right. NG asks, what is your view on the macro outlook for this HPC AI space? Oh, gosh. I think, I mean, it's bullish nonetheless, right? Whether it's macro, micro. Macro, the outlook for it is huge going forward here. I don't know how big it's going to be, but we're probably not bullish enough on it, to be honest with you. That's kind of the way I would look at it. Okay, and then did you manage to look at Steven Zeiner's videos? I have not, no. It's called COVID Brain Set. No, it was before this even before COVID. I had the same thing. It's like if I don't write something down that I need to do or something like that, I just have too many things rolling in my head here. And some things like this, it's like the level of importance for things for me to do, I'll remember those things. But things that are like this, kind of like, I probably should look at it, but do I have to look at it? Probably not. But I have to write it down because it just doesn't take priority in my brain. PINVEST says, I think you should really look at treasury companies when near 1 MNAV. BMNR should trade at high multiple with staking rewards, $300 million annually, and $130 million net income from their cooling business, and etc. I think it makes more sense for Ethereum, right? If you're staking Ethereum there, you're getting staking rewards and things like that. So I think that makes a little bit more sense. Bitcoin at that point, you're just basically waiting for Bitcoin price to go up in value, so you have higher valuation at that point. Rob, what did Ben of Bitfarms tweet? I don't know. I missed it. 8P, are we in a recession or heading towards? A lot of chatter around this. Oh gosh, we've had chatter on this for the last 2-3 years, I think. I've heard it for the past, I would say 3 years at least, that we're going into a recession. We're going into a recession and we still don't have a recession, right? A recession is categorized by having 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. I think did we have 1 quarter this year where we were close to that, or did we get negative? I can't remember now. And then, right, we haven't had a second consecutive, but the second quarter after that was much better. So I don't think that's the case yet. NG says, hopefully whenever Bitfarms and Ben, whatever whatever Bitfarms and Ben is doing will cook up great multiples on their balance sheet. Yeah, right. I hope they do great there. Rob says, let's not hope for a recession. All right. Yeah, I do not want a recession. I don't think we're anywhere near that. P-Invest, Bitcoin typically hits the 200 SMA, which is at 50,000. Historically, it has always touched the line, but not sure when, but should hit maybe 6 months or so. Okay. And you think that's going to be the top there basically at that point? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, things are definitely changing around this cycle with Bitcoin. So whatever has happened in the past, I think we can probably throw out that playbook for more or less. It is acting completely different here right now. That's if it continues to go up here. If it slides further from where we are right now, then it might be a similar cycle like we had in the past. All right, that's it. We're going to call it a day, everyone. Thanks so much for coming in here. We've been going on almost an hour. Jeez, I didn't think we were going to go that long, but we've definitely gone that long anyways. So tomorrow, Cleanspark is up on deck, right? We're going to talk about them as well. And then the P-Invest asks, when are you taking profits in miners? That is definitely being extended out because of their AI possibilities. So I think they can do even better with AI now than they were possibly going to be able to do with Bitcoin mining. So right now we're holding off. We're just seeing where things are going. But I think a lot of these guys are going to do much better because of the megawatts they have available to them, especially like IREN, Cypher, right? Even others as well. But yeah, I'm not taking profits anytime soon here. Like I said, I'm in it for a little bit longer time than most of you guys are possibly. Sadie, thank you as well for coming in. Gary says, had a recession under Biden. Then he changed the definition to say we didn't. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. On that one, we got one more coming in here, and we'll call it a night here. NG, how would you play with a portfolio of 50,000 Bitfarms shares at $2? Oh, jeez. Well, personally, if you got that, I mean, you definitely have, 5x more than I do, and I'm at $1.58, I think, on average per share on that one. How would I play that? Not financial advice as always. I would probably hold on to it until it gets to like $6, $7, $8, maybe $10, right? Maybe dollar cost average out as it is going up in value at that point, right? But then we might be looking at that sometime later on next year, or it might happen faster, depending. NG says managed to run up to $6 and did not take profits. Kind of similar situation for me with IREN. IREN got up to $70. I had a lot of shares of them as well, up huge on that one, and I didn't take any profits either. So, right, because I still believe that they're going to do much better in the long run here, but we'll see. And Toronto says, U.S. will not go into recession, but will have to adjust to losing illegal migrants who distorted wages and spending with less remittances leaving the country, jobs for Americans, and less taxes. That is true, right? There's a side effect of that. IREN hit 74, yeah. All right, we got pre-sale scams here. Don't mind those. Block them if you can. All right, that's it. Love you all. Thank you so much for coming in as always. We'll talk about Cleanspark tomorrow and whatever else happens tomorrow as well. See how the miners do, how Bitcoin does, and we'll get into it all. So yeah, appreciate you all. Hope you guys have a great night. I'll see you all tomorrow.